Hello everyone. We're going to be doing number 15 on page 321 of the Seigel book. And it says, what concentration of competitive inhibitor is required to yield 75% inhibition at a substrate concentration of X if Km equals 2.9 times 10 to the negative fourth, Ki equals 2 times 10 to the negative fifth. In part B, what is the concentration must the substrate be increased to reestablish a velocity at the original uninhibited value? So, how we're going to start this is we know that VO is going to equal, I'm going to turn off this light, sorry. VO is going to equal VI. But this is the velocity of the uninhibited and the velocity of the inhibited. The velocity of the inhibited, though, it's going to be 75% inhibition. So what that means is that if we have our plot here, and this is V over S, this right here, it's going to bring our velocity down to 75% inhibition. So what that means is that this line is going to be 25% of our original velocity, or 0.25. So what we're calculating is the velocity of the inhibited is going to be 25% of the velocity of our original. Vi equals 0.25 VO. This is a competitive inhibitor, so we need to write our equations for the competitive inhibitor. Vi equals SV max divided by Km plus S. This is competitive. I'm sorry. So this could be Km times 1 plus I over Ki plus S. So this is our inhibited Km, or velocity equation. Our uninhibited is going to be VO equals SV max divided by Km plus S. There we go. So now we're going to plug these two values into this equation right here. Okay, I'm just going to do that right over here. So now it's going to be SV max divided by Km 1 plus I over Ki plus S. It's going to equal 0.25 SV max divided by Km plus S. 25% of our original velocity equals our inhibited. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by the reverse of this. So I'm going to take this, going to inverse it, and multiply it over here. So now what we're going to have is we're going to have, bringing this all the way down here, we're going to have SV max divided by Km 1 plus I Ki plus S times Km plus S divided by 0.25 V max S. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I just needed to double check something. So what we're really solving for is we're solving for this I right here. The question asks, at what level of inhibition will this make it equal to this? So, so what we're going to do now is we're going to cross off these SV max, and we're going to be left with Km plus S divided by 0.25 times Km, 1 plus I over Ki plus S equals 1. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do more algebra. I'm going to be going this way now. I'm going to take 0.25, multiply it by that. Or I'm going to take this whole bottom, and I'm going to multiply it by 1. So now I'm going to say Km plus S equals, write it a little bit better. I'm going to say over here Km plus S equals 0.25 Km shoot 1 plus I over Ki plus S. Sorry about that. But basically it's yeah. I only need one of these. So what we can do now is we can plug in numbers for this, and we can start plugging in some numbers. Or what we can do is we can also distribute this out. So this is going to equal Km plus S is going to equal 0.25 Km 1 plus I over Ki plus 0.25 S. I'm going to subtract the S. So now I'm going to get Km plus 0.75 S is going to equal 0.25 Km 1 plus I over Ki. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 0.25 Km. So I'm going to get 4 plus 3S divided by Km. So when I divide this out, it's going to be Km's are going to cancel. I'm going to be left with 4. And this is going to be 3S over Km equals 1 plus I over Ki. Subtract the 1. 3 plus S over 3S over Km equals I over Ki, and then multiply by Ki. So our final thing is going to look like I equals Ki 3 plus 3S Ki over Km. Oh, sorry, I didn't see, you guys couldn't see that. So what I did is I subtracted 1. I got 3 plus 3S over Km equals I over Ki, and then I multiply by Ki. And that's what I get. So we have all these values, we don't have I. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to plug in these numbers and let you know what I is.